10,000 kilometers, guys. I have reached 10,000 kilometers on my XPeng G6, and today I will take you guys with me in a ride, and I will do this without any cuts, without any edit on the video. Well, I will put some text or some effects, but I will not take out any part of the movie. So this is one unedited video that I will publish, and we will be discussing these 10,000 kilometers, how it was since I picked up the car until the day of today. Also, we will talk a little bit about my journey as a YouTuber in this channel, so that you guys know everything that is happening in the car, with my family, together with the car, and also with the YouTube channel. So here we are. I have set up two cameras, so one it's recording me and the other is recording the way that we are going to do. It is a route that you probably already know, because we have done this already so many times, because it's part of my day-to-day routine, and in these 3 months that I have this car, I have done already this route several times. But anyway, the idea is not to test anything today, so I will just provide you my honest feedback of these first 10,000 kilometers that I have made with this car. So from choosing this car until the pickup time, there was this decision to create this channel. I already explained this. But the main reason was because I didn't find many information of a real owner with the car. So there are a couple of YouTubers that do have the car, some people in France, some people in Australia, for instance, that I consumed the amount of videos that they had provided. But I was still missing some more information. So as you can imagine, 2 YouTubers, it's not enough when we are thinking on getting a car and spending the amount of money that it's involved in these type of cars. And there were a couple of professional reviewers, some guys that do not own this car, but did made a couple of tests on it. It was nice. So we got to know a bit of the functionalities and their feedback, but I always thought that it was a very fast analysis. I mean with this is that they get the car, they test it for 1 day or sometimes even only hours, and then they provide their feedback, honest feedback, but it's only related to their feeling of the car in that specific test. So they do not have the car for a couple of months, so that they could then do their review based on a long time with it. So that's why, and as there was no much owner channels around, my wife decided then to provoke me and make me create this channel. And since pickup, I am doing these videos exploring as much as I can the functionalities of the XPeng, also embarking on this EV life. So it is a real change. I will talk a little bit about that during our ride. And so I took it as an hobby, of course, because I have my my work, but it has been a real pleasure to do this, because even because I am doing this, I am exploring the car as I never thought I would be doing it in this first month. So it has been a pleasure to do this. And because of sometimes the challenges that you guys are giving me, asking me to do some tests, asking me to do some analysis, I have been exploring the car much more, so I do believe that I know more about this car in 3 months that I knew my oldest car in 8 years. Of course, I am exaggerating, of course, but it's the feeling that I have. Also, I have been doing a lot of kilometers with this car. So again, it's still not 3 months with it. And I have already 10,683 kilometers made. I had already made a couple of long trips, long, of course, for a Portuguese guy. So around 300, 400 kilometers. So I did experience already the topic of the range anxiety, the charging outside of home, etc. I had the opportunity to, I was able to install a home charger, and I have been charging at home with some cheap electricity prices, so off-peak prices. I did renegotiate my electricity bill. So I can talk also about that a little bit, because I think that moving from a nice car to an EV, it's in fact a change in life, in change of habits. It's not the big topic that I thought it was before getting the car, because honestly I was afraid, because everybody was saying two things. The cars are not reliable. It's a Chinese car, so it's not reliable. There is going to be problems with maintenance, etc. So of course it's still 3 months, so I don't know if I will have any problem with it, but until now it's pretty much perfect. But also about the charging, it would be crazy, because charging, it's crazy the amount of time that we spend on charging the car, etc. The range anxiety, so you will not know if you will be able to arrive to a destination, etc. So it's always a mess. And of course, I do believe that everybody that doesn't have an EV do think this, because it is the main commentary that you see on YouTube and all over the place, that it's stating the exact same thing. So talking about range anxiety, the less range comparing with a nice car, etc. But the reality, guys, and this is very honest, from a guy that just changed 3 months ago, and I never had any experience with EVs before, it is easy. It is very easy. Of course, that I am talking and considering my personal experience and the opportunity that I have to charge at home, and the amount of kilometers that I do. So I'm talking about my life and the what I have with the car and the environment around it. And so that's why I'm saying that it's very easy to change. Of course, in the first couple of weeks, you need to learn how to control the car, because the amount of power it's huge. It's completely different than the cars that I was used to have. Because again, guys, I didn't bought a race car. This is a family car, as I had before. But the amount of power that this family car can resemble to a nice car, a race car of a nice car. Okay, so that is the topic with it. And the amount of power, the way that the car provides this acceleration, this power, it's crazy, and you need to take these in consideration when changing, because you need to get used to it. Also, the one pedal drive, and again, XPeng doesn't provide full one pedal drive as Tesla, for instance, but it does very close to that. That it's the fact that when you take out your foot from the accelerator, the car will slow down until almost stop. In this case, on the XPeng, it almost stops. It doesn't come to a complete stop, but almost. And it's also something that you need to get used to, because in the beginning you will feel like a ride that it's very bumpy, because you will be used to take the foot from the accelerator and move to the brake pedal, And if you have regeneration active on the car will slow down immediately, and you will feel like a bumpy road. So you need to adjust also your driving style to that. Okay. So there is some time to get used to the car, and then of course there is the range part. So I got a single range, so I didn't even went for the long range. So I didn't got a car with a huge amount of range that you have already some EVs with 700 and 800 kilometers of range. But I went to a single range that has of WLTP, and you guys know that WLTP is a range that it's a combination between several factors and several different types of roads. So most of the times the WLTP range is not easily achieved. Okay, so you need to take that in consideration. So I usually took out 30% more or less of the announced range, so to be on the good side of the car. So my math was around that, so I took that in consideration to understand if this was enough for me. And I did realize that for my day-to-day life, and again I do more or less 250 kilometers per day in some days, so the biggest commute that I have, it's 250 kilometers. Of course sometimes I do a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, but it was the main part of my days was that. So, and as I can charge the car every single night at home, for me it's very easy. I just arrive at home, I just plug in the car to the charger, and the car will stay charging during the full night. Usually if I arrive at 10, at 5 a.m. more or less, it's fully charged again. Okay. So it takes a little bit of time because it's a slow charger. It's a monophase charger that the maximum is 7.2, I think, if I'm not mistaken. 7.2, 7.3, something like that. But it's more than enough, because this battery has a 66 kilowatt battery. So the car has a 66 kilowatt battery. So in 10 hours at 7 kilowatts, I could charge 70 kilowatts. So as you can imagine, it is possible to charge every single night the full, almost the full battery, or at least at the full battery of the car every single night. So I don't know what it is already to go to a gas station to put diesel at the car. So I never went, well, I'm lying. I went 2 times to check tire pressure. But to put gas on the car, never more. I don't know what that is anymore. So today I am just arriving at home, plug in the car, it will charge during the night. I will be dining, I will be watching TV, I will be sleeping. In the morning I will take breakfast, I will get ready to leave home, and as soon as I leave the door, I just unplug the car, I get in, and I drive with 100% battery, as I did today. So today it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's the first time that I am picking the car today because I work at home. Okay, I will do around 200 kilometers today. I have 97% of battery at the moment because I made already a couple of kilometers with the car. So as you can see, it's very easy. It's just arrive to the car, unplug the car, get in and drive. And today at night I will just arrive back home, I will plug in the car again, and tomorrow I will have 100% battery again. So it's very simple, and as soon as you understand how the car behaves, you will know, as you know with a nice car, that can also say that it will consume, so the manufacturer can say that the car has an average consumption of 5 liters per 100 kilometers, but you know that with you, with your feet, with the routes that you take on a daily basis, you know that sometimes, or most of the times, the car will consume around 6 liters per 100 kilometers. So you will know the car, and it's going to get easier to understand how much you can get from the car. So until now, on these 3 months and almost 11,000 kilometers, I never had the situation that I was afraid of running out of battery. Okay, so this range anxiety, it's no problem at all. Then, as I said, the car itself, it's completely different. So the amount of technology, the amount of functionalities that this car provides to you, it's crazy top notch. And guys, even if you have the possibility to consider even high-end cars, like for instance, even in the XPeng, there is the G9, that is an amazing car. It has the comfort package with massage seats. It has 2 screens, one for the passengers so that they can be there watching a movie. If your wife likes to do her makeup, the car raises the chair to the screen so that she can do her makeup. So there are a bunch of cars with a bunch of technology. So not even just talking about XPeng, you have a bunch of technology already in these cars. And of course, if you consider a Chinese manufacturer, because if you go to the normal brands, all of that, it's paid and paid high. It's a high bill. So of course you already have BMWs, EV BMWs that has all these features, everything like that, but then you will pay 2 cars. Okay, so it's up to you. Of course, if you have that money, if you prefer to have a known brand, an EV known brand, etc., it's okay, no problem at all. I'm not trying to sell anything here. I'm just giving you my feedback on the EV landscape and then my experience with this car. So as I was saying, so the amount of technology that it's now available to these cars, because these now are computers with wheels, and because of that, it's crazy comfortable to drive a car like this. Not only to drive, but to be with a car like this. And what I mean with this is it's very simple. I do spend a lot of time inside my car because I do a lot of kilometers, but I do this because of my kids, because I take them to activities, to some physiotherapy, for instance, for their recovery and some other topics. And then I need to spend time inside the car while they are doing those activities. So the amount of time that we spend inside our cars, it's huge. And to be able to be inside the car and watching a YouTube movie, TV, a Netflix, whatever you want, just listening to music, relaxing. XPeng has the mindfulness that you can do some yoga, relaxation activities. So there are a huge amount of activities that you can do inside the car to help you get along of this time that you spend inside of it, that it's crazy comfortable. I used to be a very stressful guy, because every time that I had to take a kid, so spend 1 hour driving and then staying inside the car for 1.5 hours waiting for them, and then driving another 1 hour. So it was 3.5 hours or 4 hours inside the car, and I was getting crazy because there was nothing to do inside the car. Nothing to do inside the car. And now the time flies. I am inside the car and the time flies. I don't even feel that there is a problem. I could even bring my laptop and work here inside the car without any problem, charging the laptop wherever. So it's crazy good, the comfort that you can get from these cars. And again, if you have massage seats and stuff like that, you can imagine the comfort that you can get from a car like this. Also, the power that the car provides you. So I am not a guy that drives very fast. I used to be when I was younger, but currently I'm a family guy, so I do prefer to drive with safety, drive slowly, more or less at the speed limits, sometimes a little bit faster, but it is more on the safe side and not on the speed side. But the power that is available on this car, so that you can provide also, that can provide also security for you, it's amazing. So if you are in a situation that you need to move quickly, to start your ride faster, enter in a roundabout or something like that, the car does provide you this power so that you can do these maneuvers easily and fast. And that brings security. Also, if you need to do a takeover of a car, of course, that if the car reacts fast and does that without any hesitation, then of course it's bringing some security also to your drive. So it's not only about speed, but when we talk about from 0 to 100 in a couple of seconds, this is also related to the possibility to do some takeovers with more security. Then of course it's up to you to evaluate the conditions to do it, but then the car is providing you the tools to do it safely. So as I said, from getting the car, so analyzing the market, seeing what was best for me, I have already a video on the channel explaining why I choose XPeng and why I changed to EV, so I will not speak on that. But from that, getting inside EV, learning a lot about electric cars, I am and I feel entitled to talk about electric cars currently. So I did already give advice to some other people about that, and I will probably do a video just talking about if you should or not and what you need to take in consideration if you are thinking on going electric in this year. So I will probably create a video on that. But I do believe that it is a great change if there is the right conditions for you. Also, let me talk about something that it's very important. Everybody knows that EVs are more expensive cars than the, let's call it, equivalent ICE cars. I cannot really compare ICE cars with EVs because, again, I don't know how much it would cost a family car like this, with the space that this car has, with the amount of technology that this car has, with the power that this car has, and also with the self-driving capabilities and self-parking capabilities, etc. So if I put everything together, if I look for a similar car, ICE car, with all these features, I am not sure if I will find an ICE car that will be at the same price level as this one is, okay? Then of course you can say, oh, but BMW or a Ford or even a Peugeot, he's more known than a Chinese XPeng car. Okay, but I had already BMWs, I had already Audis, I had a Peugeot, I have a Toyota Prius, so I know about cars. I do have some experience with ICE cars, and I can tell you that for me, BMW doesn't say much because I didn't like the 530 that I had. The Peugeot was a great comfort car in terms of seats for long trips and stuff like that, but it was a nightmare in terms of performance, in terms of maintenance. So I really don't know if a known brand it's better than a not known brand. So it will depend, of course, the experience will say. Until now I don't have nothing to say, and I will be here if there is something that happens with this car that needs to be discussed. So I'm not only talking good things about this car, and if you follow this channel you already saw videos from me stating the obvious bugs and improvements that need to be made on this car. I will talk a little bit about them also. But the reality is that this is a really good car, and it is very nice to drive. It can be fun and it can be comfortable for your family, for you. It has a bunch of technology to help you, to make it safer to drive. And also make it safer when you are parked, because even before you start driving, if you want to open the door, the car will alert you if there is someone or a car coming. So there are a bunch of technology here to assist you, to help you, and all of that brings a lot of comfort to the ride, to the car, to the family itself. So I don't have nothing to say about that. Also, as I was saying about the cost of the car, and the reason why I was talking about the price of the car, it's because of the savings that you have. So the reason why I was talking about the cost is because most of the people will say, okay, you will save in energy, in the consumption of the car, but you will pay more upfront because it's an EV. Again, I don't know much ICE cars that can bring everything that this package car has at a lower price level, so that I can compare it with the cost savings that I have. Because when I bought this car, I did compare it with the exact same car that I had before. So if I just change from a Peugeot 5008 to another Peugeot 5008, I would save some money, but I would not have the amount of technology that I have in this car. So we cannot compare it like that. But again, in terms of average consumption and savings, I didn't make the math still for this third month, but as I didn't had any outside charging on this month, I do believe that it's going to be the cheapest month that I had, and I will be making around 3,000 kilometers again, as on the previous month. So until now, I have already, so without this, so in 2 months, I have already saved around 450 euros, more or less around that. I can, you can see my second month live video. The numbers are there. So I will do another live session for the third month. So at the end of this month, to evaluate the month itself, and I will do that math for the consumption. But it's very clear, the consumption is much less than if I had still the ICE car and I was fueling with a diesel. Even considering that the diesel prices are getting down a little bit because of the state's situation, and all the oil price is going a little bit down, so diesel it's also going down, but still it's the difference is huge. Okay, because I am being charging my car at home with a price of 11 cents of euro per kilowatt, and this means without taxes, so with taxes is around 13 cents. So this means that I am in fact saving a lot of money with consumptions. Okay, then, so we have talked about buying the car, going electric, about the comfort, the performance, the range anxiety, costs, etc. Now let's change a little bit to problems. So yeah, this car, and I do believe that because I saw a bunch of videos also about Teslas and other brands, all cars have problems. Okay. So guys, sorry you fall down. I am still here. You guys fall down. Sorry, my support in the car fell down. So I don't know if now it is tight or not. I hope you guys are okay. So as I was saying, every car has a problem. So, and you can see this one is a problem. So it doesn't hold down to support the mobile phone supporter. In this case, a GoPro. But as I stated, there are problems, of course, in the car. And I have already stated a couple of them during my experience with the cars and in my videos. The biggest one that I may refer to in the beginning when I bought the car was related to the radio system, and the radio system doesn't work well with this car. So I'm talking about FM radio. We don't have in Portugal digital audio broadcasting, so it's not even an issue, but I do believe that even that service is not working well. Because on China, they do believe that the future is IP, and so they do prefer to have IP services as like TuneIn, for instance, as your radio broadcasting platform. So I don't know if this is a hardware problem or a software problem, but in fact there is a problem with that. So it's not working well. It works, but it's not the best system. It doesn't give you the radio station name, or it doesn't follow the frequency when you move around. So it has a bunch of problems. I am not using at all that feature, the radio platform. I do use TuneIn radio, the free version. It's more than enough. You can listen to radio stations without any problem. I never heard any ads on even on the free version. So I had, I think, twice the situation when I pressed my radio station. It said in the beginning, "Welcome to TuneIn," something like that, but then it plays radio without any stops. Well, the ads, of course, you have from the radio station itself. But then I do have Spotify. I do use Spotify. I used to use Spotify on Android Auto, but currently I use Spotify on the inbuilt system because it is a very nice platform. It is very easy to understand, to navigate, to work with it. So I do prefer the layout of the inbuilt system instead of the Spotify one. And it has also a bunch of other multimedia options that you can use. But the first bug that I discovered about this car when I did a test drive with it and when I got it was the radio, and it's still not fixed. Then the second one that I believe that it's the biggest one, because when you talk about EVs and we compare with Tesla and stuff like that, we need to talk about self-driving. If you do so let me explain one thing, that self-drive currently it's more or less only available for highway, because on city it's still not good enough, at least here in Europe. But you can use it, for instance, when you are in a traffic jam. So again, there is a video that I made in a traffic jam. In fact, I was in a highway, but in a traffic jam. But you can use it also in traffic jams in the city without any problem. So you can activate it and the car will just do that traffic jam. So that stop and go that you have to do on a traffic jam. So on those cases, it works flawlessly. In highways at around 100 kilometers per hour, it works without any problem. But if you go to 110, 120 or above, then the car doesn't perform in the best way. So the car will slow down in turns because it will feel not confident to do that turn in self-drive at a higher speed of 100. So I always have the self-drive disabled if I am in a highway with a lot of turns, and because the car will slow down. You can check a couple of videos from me that I have already showed that situation already. So that for me it's something that needs to be fixed. On the version 5.6 that was released last month, it was improved, but still needs and still has room for improvement. Okay, so XPeng, if you are hearing this, just try a little bit harder. I know that you can do it, so we are waiting for that. Also, there is another bug. I don't have it much, at least now. In the beginning I did had that, most of users, there are a lot of users complaining about that, but currently I don't have that problem, so I'm not even touching on those settings. That is the lock and unlock of the car over Bluetooth, so the remote key that you may have installed in your mobile. So you can create a key on your mobile, and then when the car detects your mobile, it connects to Bluetooth. So the car does have it on Bluetooth. It connects over Bluetooth, and then it will unlock the car based on you approaching or leaving the car. And then it will change all the settings according to the user that just logged in to the car, that opened the car and logged into the car. There are a bunch of users complaining that in fact the car is not opening, so locking or unlocking on the approach. So they are complaining that the key is not working. In the beginning I had that situation, but currently I don't have it at all. So it works all the times. Well, I'm lying. So I will say that it works 90% of the times, and the remaining 10%, when I arrive to the car will not be unlocked, but as soon as I touch the handle of the car will be unlocked. So for me, it's okay. It was the same way that my previous car was unlocking. So I was with the key in my pocket, and I was arriving to the car, touching the car, the handle, and the car was unlocking itself. So it is more or less the same situation. So 90% of the times before I arrive to the car unlocks, and the other 10% when I touch the handle, the car will unlock also. Even I have a different problem, that my car is parked, and you saw already the parking space that I have. So it's very close to my house, very close to a window that it's connected, so that it's a bathroom window. And as soon as anytime that I go to the bathroom and I have my mobile phone with me, the car will unlock again, because I was very close to it. So as you can see, even when I don't need the car to be opening or closing, the car is doing it. So many people are complaining that the car doesn't unlock, and I am complaining that it does unlock many times that I don't even need it. But it's one of the bugs that it's being said. So unfortunately, XPeng decided to go with the Bluetooth approach, instead of going with some other technologies that, for instance, Tesla uses, NFC and also ultra wideband inside Bluetooth to do that. But then it's a hardware problem. I don't know if the new models will have that or not. But in fact, it's a problem. So besides those, I am not even thinking on anything else that I could consider a bug or something that has room for. There is something, but it's not related to the XPeng, or at least I don't know if it is related to the XPeng. So these cars in Europe do have a dash cam and do have Sentry mode, but unfortunately, for some reason, we cannot use it as, for instance, Tesla users do. So on Tesla, you can even check remotely the cameras of the car, but we don't have access to that here. And everything is here for that, but it seems that it's something related to regulamentations, European Union laws, RGPD, I don't know. And also we have a dash cam in the car that, for instance, the Australian users can use, but we in Europe cannot use dash cams, because the laws here in Europe, it's a mess. So there is a general rule that the implementation is dependent on the country, and then each country has different levels of authorization. So imagine Portugal, it's possible to use dash cam, but only for private view, and it needs to be anonymized and cannot be accessed remotely. And then there is in Spain, you cannot use it at all. I am just inventing, okay? I don't know the exact situation of each country, but so that you understand that each country has a different level of restrictions or authorizations or obligations. So I do believe that it's impossible to set up an app and a dash cam that can work in every single country in Europe. I don't know how Tesla does it. Some people say that they do it without taking in consideration all those laws. I don't know, to be honest, but I would like to have it on my XPeng also. So I have the hardware, I have the software, so please just implement it so that we can use it. And guys, this is it. So good things: technology, comfort, the noise isolation, the power that the car has, the way that the handling of the car. The family loves it. Chargers, amount of alerts and assisting features, the technology, the amount of multimedia options that you have to make your driving and also the parking enjoyable. It's crazy good. Okay, there are some bugs. Most of them are related to software, so I do believe that we can expect some improvements. The app itself recently was improved a lot, so there was lacking a couple of features that currently were implemented. So I'm very happy now with the app. Of course, there is still room to improve, but again, it's software, and these are software companies, not car companies, let's call it like that. They are software companies. So we can expect that this will improve. And to conclude this conclude this video, I will just tell you what I do expect from my car in a couple of years. So I do expect a better integration between the systems with the remaining functionalities of the car. So it has already some AI capabilities, but it's still lacking. There are already versions of the assistants that can connect to the exterior world with AI in some other brands, for instance. And also XPeng, I think in China already is delivering cars with AI technology. So I would love to have the XPeng assistant to be able to tell me about the weather, to tell me about news, so that I could ask her for a restaurant nearby, and with reviews. So with AI possibilities like a ChatGPT included on the assistants, but integrated with all the systems, it would be amazing. I would love to have Europe and then the manufacturers of the cars to allow a better experience on the self-driving. I know that this is also related to safety, but I would love to have the possibility to have better implementation of self-driving mechanisms without Europe also being objecting and be always trying to push down all this new technology. I don't know why they do that. I don't believe that it's only because of safety. It's almost also some other things, I believe. But that's it, guys. I do believe that there is room for improvement. I do believe that these cars can bring a lot to our lives. I do believe that electrification is the future. I don't see any other way. And I do enjoy to have my XPeng. I did enjoy my transformation to electric, and I am enjoying doing these videos for you guys and having you with me, because I do feel while I'm doing this that you are with me on my side while I do these videos, because I am doing them for you. So thank you again very much. If you do like this type of content, do subscribe and leave your like. You know it will help the channel. And also, if you have any comment, any question about this on moving to electric cars, if you are thinking on moving to electric cars, just let us know. Myself and the community can help you guys take your decision. I am not selling XPengs, okay? I'm not a car seller. So I will provide you with my honest feedback on this type of cars and on this type of technology, so that you make your decision in the best way possible. So guys, thank you again very much, and I hope to see you very soon in a next video. And just to finalize, let me tell you that we have made 37 kilometers in 46 minutes with an average consumption of 12.5. So let me show you here since start. So 12.5 of average. So as you can see, I have spent around €1 during this trip on consumption on energy. Okay guys, so thank you again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.